G'day guys, hey, it's John here today, and we're going to talk ELR. So I have my typical PRS rig here, and we're going to use it a little bit. We got a plate at 520 yards with the long shot camera on it, and we were given that by Lab Radar for the up and coming King of 0.22 mile ELR 22 competition by the CRPS series. And here we also have my other rifle, and on it we have a March Genesis 4-40, and this is the one with the 86 mils of internal elevation, which is going to allow us to make a shot from a little bit further. How far that is, we don't know how far we're going to go today, but we'll see. So initially we're going to set up here 520 yards, which is about the limit of most PRS rigs without running into a lot of holdovers. "519 yards. Ready. Set up the receiver for the long shot. It is from the guys over at Lab Radar to use for the ELR competition that we'll be having next year. Oh, that's backwards. Even got a sign on it. Face towards target. And this way we can see the impacts on the plates out there if for some reason we don't have enough energy to set off the hit indicators. I like running a Magnetospeed on the rifle while I am shooting these longer range targets, because if I have a velocity that is low or high and I hit low or high, then I know it's the fault of the velocity and not something else that's going on. Alright, we have the long shot camera set up. We have the receiver here. I'm connected to the receiver through the app on my phone, and so now what I'm going to do is set the target size in the app here to the dimensions of my target that I'm shooting, and this is going to allow me to see my group size on the app live while shooting. It's also going to allow me to see where my point of impact is in relation to the aim point on the target. So it's a very simple setup that is intuitive to use. So we'll set it up here. We go into the app, and I'm going to turn on my measurements. I'm going to put in the reference size. My target is 36 inches square, and my distance is 519 yards. The information that I want outputted is in inches and MOA for the group size. My group width and height, I'd prefer that in inches. And the adjustment to 0 or point of impact, I want that in mils because that's what my scope adjusts in. Alrighty, we have that set up. And now we're going to have to set reference point 1. So I'm going to grab the bottom corner here, and we're going to run over here to the other side. You just set our point of aim. Yeah, if you hit it before you're actually ready, thinks you're done. There we go. Point of aim, 36 inches, 519 yards, start. Now, live, we will see our impacts. (23.4 degrees). Wind speed going on here. I think we picked the wrong day for this. 8. Oh, now we're down to 4. So our lows look to be 4 mile an hour, and our gusts were up at 11.5. Okay, so I'm going to put in 8 and 11.5. 23.4 our wind. Got about a 4 o'clock wind. It's totally the wrong day for a long distance. It is not not conducive to looking good. Today I'll be using ELR contact. I find in general it is a pretty consistent, economical ammo choice. Alright, I think we have everything now. My 28.7 mils of elevation. 3 to 4.7 mils for wind. Okay, so 519 yards, 29.3. So we'll dial on 28.3 and hold a mil over. So what's our guess for wind? 3 mils. I'm gonna guess 3 mils.
Where did that one go?
Just underneath. Got an impact. Okay, so I'll zoom in on the camera here. Alrighty, there's our impact. So we'll come in, we'll mark it, and choose my color. And I'll select this color here. And there it is. Ah, it's too big. Let's make it smaller. What do you say? Make it cute. There we go. Ready for the next one. Woohoo! I didn't hold near enough wind.
Did you know I'm 4 already? I'm 4.
Another impact. Shows up here on the screen, and we'll mark it as well too. There we go. Oops, not quite on the target. It's no issue. Backspace. There we go. So now we can see we have our adjustment at the top there for our zero adjust. It's supposed to come down 0.15 of a mil. See what we get with another one. And we missed. Not enough wind again. And there we go. Let's put a couple down there. I don't know how many we got there. Mark those. And now we have our group starting to form here. And as we can see, if we select at the bottom, oh, I got one way straight down at the bottom here. Oh, 7 shots. And our elevation is spot on. I'll send 3 more down there, see if we can get 10 on target. Oh, I held too much wind.
Are you sorry for my dad?
I seen dust, too much wind. Okay, there we go. Should have 10 on plate here. Get them all marked out. And there we go, 500 yards. We have 10 shots on plate. I missed the number due to wind. We have a vertical height of 30.06 inches. And as we can see, my elevation has averaged 0.12 mils high. Alright, so I do a quick run over on the rifle here. The action is made by Ultimatum Precision up here in Canada. It is the Deuce. And for a barrel, I'm running the IBI 1 in 12 twist that they released this year as well. It's been spot on. I'm very happy with it. And all of it is sitting in the Modular Driven Technologies ACC chassis, also a Canadian company. So we have a Canadian chassis, Canadian action, Canadian barrel, which suits me as a Canadian quite well. On the top, we're running a Minox ZP5, which is German. I'm okay with German as well. And altogether, this is a very nice setup that I'm fully confident in. Careful. You're gonna sit up there quietly. "683 yards, 1 degree incline, 49.2 mils, and 2.4 to 5.5 mils for wind." Okay, so I guess the clicks on the Genesis scopes are actually in 0.05 mil increments. So I have approximately 1,000 clicks to go. So we may as well get started. 20, 30, 40, 49.2. There we go. And we're gonna dial on, let's say 4 mils for wind. Give her a little bump here so she's settled nicely. 4 mils of wind? I guess we'll find out, eh? I'll bet you she's 5. Looks like we should have held 6 for wind. Thing is, I don't know if I'll hear it when it hits either. So I don't see dust. The thing is, I got 5 mils dialed on, so I was holding center, and it hit 1.5 mils to the right. So I moved over 1.5 mils, and I hit 1 mil to the left. So the wind, a little too fast. Well, let's see what we get. Okay, there I seen dust, mil off the left, hold 1 mil right. Oh, that one hit low. There I got an impact, so we actually can hear it. Yeah, my second last one was a slow velocity, so that's why it hit low. Where's our impact? Haha, bottom edge. You heard something? Yeah. Oh yeah, there is another one at the bottom. So I must be hitting low. I should go up 0.8 mils, so I'm gonna add half and then 2. Yeah, I'm up over 7 mils for wind now.
Hendrick.
Well, we got another one now.
I heard that one.
Serious?
Yeah. For the second last one.
Well, I should have kept right at it then, I guess. Yeah, my vertical's too big because I can. It's over top, underneath, over top, underneath, out the right, out the left. Like I get some that would hit if they weren't out the right and left, but
At least 2 or 3 in there.
I got 4. Okay, I got 4. So that's 5 now, and I'm hitting high. It says 0.3 mils. Well, we have one more. Just because it sounds like it's dying down here doesn't mean it's dying down out there, obviously. Because I held last wind, and then it was way off left, so. Oh, we got 1 in here. So I don't know, man. Like where they're hitting, like that, they're hitting in the same vertical area generally, but wind, no. Well, we're one last crack at this. Don't think we're trying 1,000 today. Last two got busted a wind. I only got the 1. Basically, we've picked the wrong day for this, I think. Ah, it's frustrating. Oh, we got 7 hit. I'm thinking the next time we decide to do an ELR video, we do it when there's no wind. Alright, do a rundown of the rifle they used here at 683 yards. Again, we're using the MDT ACC chassis. This is also an IBI barrel. This is 15 twist, but the action here is the main difference. It's a RimX by Zermatt arms. And then on top we have, like I mentioned before, the March Genesis 4-40 scope with the 86 mils of internal elevation. To give you a bit of an idea how much elevation we actually needed in order to get out there to the 683 yards. We still have a fair bit of elevation left in this puppy yet. We decided to go for something very long range. We have the ability. Alrighty. back to 50. Well, we've done a little bit of a overview kind of ELR. It's a very complex topic with a lot of factors that are out of our control. At the 520 yards, we had consistent impacts. It's not much of an issue, of course. Wind is a factor, and we definitely noticed that. But then once we got out to the 680 yards, our vertical dispersion starts getting much bigger, and our wind has a huge effect. At the 680 yards, 1 mile per hour of wind is approximately 0.8 mils on the target. So we have a huge movement laterally when we have a couple mile an hour changes, and a couple mile an hour is very small. So ELR is a very interesting sport. If it's something that you think you would find as interesting, check us out in 2022. The King of 0.22 Mile up here in Canada, put on by the Canadian Rimfire Precision Series. For the closer targets, the same setup you're using for PRS is going to work. Once we start getting out to the further targets beyond 550 yards, you're going to have to look at something that adds elevation, and the March Genesis is a perfect purpose-built optic to do that. And then we also looked at the long shot camera today. I find it an excellent tool for shooting my drop data at distance, ammo testing. I can shoot multiple groups on the same target, and I don't have to go out there and repaint it every time. It's a huge time saver, and I found it to be very simple and reliable to use. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you got any questions, hey, hit me up at a match sometime, say hi. I'm always happy to talk. This is a subject I enjoy very much. And until next time, shoot straight.